Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dodging Drama Gen Z Guide to Healthy Dating. Because honestly, modern dating feels like trying to read a message with last seen off and typing disabled. Confusing, dramatic, and occasionally hilarious. I am your host, Suman Khanna, founder of Lakshya Sarthi, and welcome you to our another podcast. And today we are diving into the chaos you all lovingly call dating. From situationship that refuses to graduate to relationship to ghosting that deserves its own horror movie. We are unpacking it all. And the best part, we have got an expert with us to help decode the madness. So, buckle up. This is going to be equal parts truth, laughter, and oh dang, that's me wala situation. So, before we begin, let's meet our experts. Our first expert, Miss Kusa Bhardwaj. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, Sumanji. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for choosing this topic. As I have always been from the beginning only working with the youth, the adolescents, the college going students, helping them in navigating their life, be it their personal life, be it their mental health, be it their professional life, mentoring them for the corporates. I have been working in them all, and the topic you have chosen today, I would say, is immensely relating to the audience because the genre I work with, the Gen Zs, are actually having these issues which you just mentioned. Thank you so much for, organizing this podcast.
Thank you so much for joining in. Since you are already an expert working with adolescent, you are going to need all your expertise today because this topic is being asked by another expert who is a Gen Z itself. So let's meet her. Hi, Janvi. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me. I am Janvi Vashisht and I am 18 years old and I am currently pursuing BTech in CSC branch with specialization in AI ML. And I am, as you said, I'm part of this Gen Z generation. Um, my hobbies are dancing and singing, so I keep meeting new people and I keep experiencing different things.
Oh, that's amazing. Being you are already 18 and meeting new people. If that's your hobby, I'm sure you're going to throw amazing questions to our expert. So, before we begin, I would like to put the first question to both of you. So, Kushaji, what brings you to this platform?
Well, this platform, especially as we have been working together, I think for, it has been quite a few months, I would say more than a year that we have been working together. And I truly believe in your vision of bringing more importance towards highlighting the fact that mental health is so important to be successful in life, to grow in life, to have a life worth living. So that is why I'm here on this platform and, engaging in these questions. I'm not just answering these questions. I believe that me, Janvi, and you, we are going to have a conversation which might, end up enlightening or at least putting some, focus or our intentions on something which is crucial and helpful for our budding generation. That is why I'm here.
So true. Can't wait to learn from this conversation. So, Janvi, same question to you. What brings you to this platform?
I joined this podcast because there are things that in our age everybody goes through, but nobody really talks about it. Like our way of communication is sending memes or jokes or reels, but we don't have real conversations. And that is very important because that is the way we genuinely get to know each other, and Lakshya Sarthi is a place where we can have honest conversations about what Gen Z actually feels. And I chose this topic about relationships because, like, literally everybody around us is trying to figure out dating, but we have insecurities, confusions, and we barely get any guidance on this topic. Nobody really talks about dating, nobody teaches us. So that is why I thought that why should not we start this conversation from here?
Amazing. Your thoughts are going to give clarity to lots of people, not only Gen Zs, I'm sure millennials and other generations too. So, Let's begin the conversation. Platform is all yours. Janvi, shoot your first question.
Sure. So I recently saw two of my friends. They really liked each other, but still they couldn't make the relationship work. Because it was not because they were cheating or fighting with each other, but they were constantly overwhelmed with their careers or their study or some personal issues. And they kept saying that I don't have the emotional space for this right now. So that brings me to my first question is that what do you think is the biggest challenge Gen Z faces in building healthy and meaningful relationships today?
That is a very relevant question, Janvi, I would say. And the issue your friends were having is something, a pandemic kind of a thing nowadays, especially with the Gen Zs. Every other child student, whoever is in this genre of romantic relationships, they are having quite difficult situation to pinpoint their emotions and to progress in their relationships. Janvi, do you have shopping apps on your phone?
Sure,
You do
there are
have?
many.
Many. And does it happen with you that maybe you know that you might be having an outing with your friends or maybe a family function somewhere to go, and you might be putting some things in your cart and you might be waiting, you though you like those dresses or those attire, but maybe shoes, and you are waiting for some good offers, some sale to occur, and I can so that I can buy
Hmm.
it at a better price. Does it happen with you? It happens with me.
More discounts,
More
coupons, and
discount, some offer,
yeah,
some great sale or something. That
sure.
happens.
Right.
This is what is happening with the Gen Z. This is what is happening with people predominantly who are navigating relationships. It is a paradox of infinite choice. All
Hmm.
of the, not just the Gen Z, but predominantly Gen Z, they have these social media apps. They are on Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, maybe college apps also, WhatsApp groups also. They are everywhere. Even though they like someone, your friend might be liking that person. They are in a relationship. They are, having discussions. They are, going on coffee dates. They are hanging out together. Still, they are on social media. Still, they are seeing the opportunity of meeting someone better.
Hmm.
They
Better.
think that yes, someone better might come along. Someone better, maybe better looking, maybe better understanding, maybe better supporting, maybe a better friend, but better. So, in that
Hmm.
scenario, it is extremely difficult to choose this person I'm having with me because I constantly have an open card syndrome.
Hmm. Totally agree.
So,
Because
this is the
we have
yes.
so many options these days, you know we don't settle for one.
Yes. And we can compare. We have put
Hmm.
some things in the cart on Amazon, some of the things on Myntra, some of the things on Nika, and we are constantly comparing them. All of them,
Hmm.
seem lucrative on the surface value, and we are not able to enjoy the thing I already have, respect the things I already have. And that is what, it is, transferring to my relationships also. So this is what is
Totally
happening.
agree.
That is why they are not able to grow. Your friends were not able to grow their relationship to the next level, or to get more evolved or more serious, the word we use with each other, because they constantly feel that someone better is coming along.
Hmm. Totally agree. And that makes me also think that, I had this friend and they were talking with a person for months, like daily texting, late night calls, conversations. But whenever she tried to ask, what are we? Like, what is this relationship? Where are we going? Always the other person's response was, let's go with the flow, we'll figure things out, right? And that makes me think, like, how can young people clearly recognize the difference between a healthy relationship and a situationship kind of thing?
relationships nowadays are not in the mold of a healthy relationship. Majorly, they are into the space of ambiguity, the situationship kind of a situation. This is again, it is, coming from the first question only. When you
Hmm.
are, seeing so many options, you're always confused. You choose not to go into a healthy relationship scenario. You choose to be in a situationship. You choose this space where you are having all the benefits of a relationship, but you're not labeling it.
Labeling it. There is no
There is no label.
responsibility involved.
Yes, no accountability, just the
Hmm.
benefits of the relationship, having late night talks, having someone to hold hands, and having someone to, hang out or maybe study with, without any accountability, answerability, that why you were not picking my call, why you are not, introducing me to your inner circle,
Hmm.
why you are not calling me your girlfriend, why you are not posting pictures with me on social media. I think that is the trend nowadays, na, to officiate things.
Social media. Sure.
If you are putting pictures together, you are together. If you're not, you're not.
Actually, that also makes me think about social media's impact. Because as you mentioned, this is a very relevant theme that goes on in relationship these days. Like couples literally fight over this. Like I saw one of my friends like partner, they had a big fight over this because the other person didn't comment on my friend's photo. So they had a fight over it and they were crying. So that brings me to the question, that what do you think is the impact social media brings in our relationship in these days?
Immense impact, I would say, Janvi, because there is an issue, expectation alignment, which is happening because we are seeing only the 5% of the life of
Hmm.
the people which has been put on the social media, just the
Hmm.
5% of it. And we are comparing our, life with the 5% life of somebody, which they have put on social media. Is that a fair
Hmm.
comparison? That is not. But we are not understanding that rest of the 95% of their life might be imperfect. It might not be that hunky dory as it seemed. They might not be that better looking. They are not having perfect relationships, healthy relationships. No, they might not. They might not. But I am comparing my 100% of the life with 5%. And I'm
True.
raising my bar, raising my expectations in comparison to that. I'm
That is also
expecting,
because the 5% that we see is also the shiny, glossy part. It's
yes,
not the
glossy
real
part.
relationship.
Correct.
Yes, because we are taking that, acknowledgement from the social media. We are asking, it is more externalized. We are becoming too much externalized.
True.
Because if you didn't like my picture, my friends would see that. Nowadays, though, with celebrities also, we see that, na, that if they
Huh.
unfollow each other, not liking each other's posts, so they might not be, anymore in a relationship. So this is a
Hmm.
trend, and this is happening. I would not, 100% say that this is something extremely, extremely negative, because this is something we provided the Gen Z with. This technology
Correct.
was provided to them, as soon as, maybe they were toddlers.
Correct. Very true. We
Generally,
are
they
the
are watching
ones
videos on
using it,
YouTube.
but we are not the ones who made it.
Yes, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
You were provided with it. You were, raised with it. Even schools are promoting. Yes, so Manji was saying something.
Yeah, actually, with the conversation you guys are having, I couldn't stop myself. Actually, what the open card syndrome you are talking and the social media influence you guys saying, same thing happened in our time also. Actually, I think हमारे टाइम पे which was a flashback kind of story, Gen Z के लिए वो future story है. Like if I could recall somewhere in my known people, they used to say, it was my bad luck I chose you. If I would have waited for another few days or months ना मुझे कोई और मिल जाता. Yeah, he was such a nice
Hmm.
guy. I left him for you. And this was like again open card system. Ki we are again comparing. And as much as you're talking about the social media thing, we used to do the same thing, I guess. just because social media nahi tha, but in the form of whenever get togethers we used to do, look at them, they are so happy couple, they are talking, they are holding hands in public. You to don't even care, you don't even walk with me, you're walking ahead. So I think same thing, just an upgraded version.
And more a frequent version, because in older times we had to go out to be in get-togethers on public spaces, to be in those scenarios. You had to wait longer. Nowadays you are having a coffee with someone and you come back and there is Instagram notification, having conversation with someone else. And these things are quite more consistent, and more the proximity, the frequency has increased,
So true.
isn't it? But what
Right.
what I would suggest, I would like to mention over here, that we have to practice something in these situations. Be it doesn't matter that this is this internet generation, and we are on social media, everything is exposed, everything is external. But still, it is not like that we cannot have some boundaries for ourselves. Whenever I am working with a Gen Z, whenever I am working with a student, I give them a protocol close. CLOSE. Whenever they are in any ambiguity, whenever they are confused about something, I tell them to practice close. What does close stand for? Close stand for C, for clarity. Be clear about what do you want. If I don't know what I want, I'm not ever going to get it. At times you get better, but at least I must have my intentions clear. Because if you compare it with the open cart syndrome, if we have so many things in our cart, still if we are very sure on what I want to wear a black dress to that event. It must have this kind of a neck, it must have this kind of a sleeves. If I have some kind of an idea charted down, I am going to make a better choice. I am going to make an informed choice.
Correct.
I might find something better, but I had clarity to start with.
Right.
Isn't it? We have to have some clarity. And we have to, the next thing, the L stands for limiting our scrolling. Even after finding the dress I was looking for, I'm still scrolling for better option. I'm still scrolling.
Correct.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That is not going to help me. I'm going to get more confused.
Mm.
So, limiting scrolling, there is a thing now, we are not getting satisfied, we are not getting assured that we have met the one, or we are with the one, or I must give my focus attention to this relationship first, this person first, not always lingering in the area of gray shades that I might be meeting someone else, because that I'm doing with choice, purposely. So if I feel that the person over here has the chances to become a potential the one that I can have a good healthy relationship with, I must give some time to this relationship right now, let it flourish. That is extremely extremely important.
Right.
And we have to define the relationship. The next acronym in this protocol is O, openly defining the relationship. We must openly define the relationship. As Janvi was saying, that people are lingering in the area of situationships.
Mm.
Why does that happen? Firstly, we are waiting for something else. Secondly, we are not so sure about this relationship. Thirdly, we don't want to be accountable. We don't want to label the relationship. So we have to be openly talking about the relationship, and we have to make the other person also aware which area I am in. If I'm still figuring out, that must be openly communicated and defined. Isn't it? Don't you think so?
Yes, I
The
do
S
agree.
stands for stop keeping options, because people are doing that. I have had clients, students coming in, that they are having someone back home with whom they were
Mm.
in relationship with. Then they went to maybe study somewhere else, they were living in hostels or PGs. They met someone, and they are in a situationship or kind of a relationship with them also, but they are not clarifying this thing or communicating this thing to the partner they had back home. because they are keeping options. So, how can any of these relationships materialize or grow when you're keeping options? You're not 100% in both of the relationships. You're not. You cannot be. So, we cannot keep options because that is going to end bad and hurt somebody.
Right.
Yeah. So, and this is something extremely, extremely common. I see this so commonly because people are so scared that this new relationship might not be the like, which I had in school, and that is my childhood kind of a relationship. This is something temporary. So we cannot do that. And in the close, the last letter is E, and that stands for engaging. Engage with the person you are with, not always looking for options on social media or other people around you. Engage with that person in order to grow that relationship. Engage purposely, not just in a flowing kind of a matter. So this is the protocol I ask all of the clients I get to practice more actively, and this is something which has given good results.
I am surely going to remember that close. No, that's a good way to remember it.
Yeah.
You talked about boundaries, the importance of setting boundaries. I would like you to elaborate on this a little bit more because I see my classmates get into new relationships, and one of them, initially it was very cute, that the part they were very cute with each other, went on dates and everything was right. But then slowly her partner started checking her phone, then telling her to not talk to these people, and asking for her location all the time. And she was very nice, she didn't set any boundaries, and as time went on, that relationship became very controlling and it suffocated her. So I want to ask, what are the most important boundaries every Gen Z individual should set while dating, and how to do that and not be the villain in the relationship? How to be nice and still keep your point forward.
Well, first of all, giving your personal space, and this is also again, Janvi, I would say, not just for Gen Z, for most of the people, not creating boundaries and not defining the relationship initially only, it creates a chaos later on.
Correct.
Hmm.
It creates an expectation problem also. Similarly, like you, I've seen cases where initially people go out and beyond to pamper the other person, to create the goodwill, and eating what you're eating, dressing how you like, to impress the other one. It
Hmm.
happens with both the genders. Boys are doing this, girls are doing this. This is not a gender dominant. Both of them are doing it. If we take an example of a boy, initially, if he's in a relationship, he's, always on the phone with the girl, not meeting his friends, not hanging out with the boys or his other friends. And he's always available and, making the choices which she likes.
Yeah.
And that is going on for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And after a point when he realizes that, okay, now my relationship is steady, now we are on a good note, and ladki, is, serious about me. वो उस kind का जब आपके mind में एक scenario आ जाता है, you start relaxing. You're not changing. You start relaxing.
Hmm.
You were on your toes to impress the other person all the time. That that satiates. That need
Hmm.
satiates. It happens with relationships. It happens in marriages also.
Honeymoon phase gets over.
Honeymoon phase, yes, exactly, bang on. So it happens, and that starts to fade off gradually. But
Hmm.
what is the other person going to think in this scenario? जो एक लाइन सुनते हैं ना, तुम बदल गए हो, तुम अब
Yeah.
वैसे नहीं हो जैसे पहले थे. Why it happens? Because they showed the best face forward. They were so good, they were so nice. और इसमें दोनों की ही गलती नहीं है. The one person was trying to impress, the other person thought that this is the true personality, this is how they are, that they are going to prioritize me in any situation. But after 3 4 months, what happens is she calls, यार बाद में बात करता हूँ, मैं अभी दोस्तों के साथ हूँ. This was not happening since 3 4 months. This was not happening. अब वो कई बार होगा, it is happening now, but she's thinking that he has changed, he is not interested in me anymore. Maybe he
Hmm.
doesn't like me that much. Maybe this was not something serious. This was just a situationship. Maybe he's avoiding me. Maybe he has met someone new.
You right.
These kind of thoughts are going to come into their mind. So, what can we, as Janvi is asking, what can we do in such situations? We have to be realistic, and your generation is extremely, I would say, insightful in these situations. They are looking for, help also in these scenarios, that how to navigate relationships. It is always better to start defining your relationships initially only. Of course it is a prerogative to put your best foot forward. Of course it is necessary, but it should not be unrealistic. You must feel that if I am doing something now, will I be able to do the similar thing in 3 months, 6 months, a year's time? क्या मैं तब भी ऐसा कर सकती हूँ या कर सकता हूँ? Will I be able to do that? Will I be able to continue with that? If we are hanging out and each and every time I am eating whatever my partner is choosing,
Hmm.
what do you want to have? Where shall we go? And they always choose maybe a particular type of delicacy. They love sweets, so always going to a cafe, having brownies or maybe pastries or something. And you don't have a sweet tooth. You like spicy food. You like street food. आपको चाट खानी है. आपको maybe South Indian खाना है. So, for how long this can continue? Not for long, no?
Hmm.
Otherwise, you will not enjoy. You will, flow away from the relationship, or you will be unseen in the relationship. So, from initial part of the relationship only, it is okay to adhere to their choices, but it is okay to put yours also forward. Whenever you are discussing that where shall we eat, you must say, okay, let's eat some street food today. If they do not enjoy that, you can, balance it out. Cake pastry भी ले ली और एक maybe चाट भी ले ली.
सही है.
Nowadays, this is not an issue, but you have to balance it out. Don't go out and beyond to impress other person, so that you lose yourself, because that is not something sustainable.
Just thought of
Hmm.
something. A couple of days before, I was just seeing a small video, short video, and the message of the video was, we are we have stopped living the real life. We are only living the Insta life. We are so busy pretending and showing off things. We have forgot our own reality. Even if you want to show that I just woke up from my bed, to shoot that image, you will first go, you will wash yourself, you do all the makeups and all, and then also you'll put filter and you'll capture that pic, and then there goes the upload, my morning face. That's not the reality. So the thing you are saying, that we are so busy impressing others कि हम भूल जाते हैं कि what we want, and we just miss the boundary thing. Yes, Anvi.
So I wanted to ask कि अभी
Start.
जितना भी हमने conversation किया है, according to that, please explain in our Gen Z terminology, कि what are some green flags in a relationship and what are the clear red flags in a relationship जिसको हमें देखते ही समझ जाना चाहिए और भाग जाना चाहिए. So what are those clues जिसको हम देख के recognize कर सकते हैं clearly?
Very, very important question, Janvi. The thing is that na green flag, red flag, हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा, और in fact it is not just about Gen Z. I would say, for anyone in life, we are seeking relationships, not just romantic relationships, but any relationship. There are two things which are, the pillars of a good relationship or a good person, which we can call a green flag, are, being emotionally consistent. This is the first thing, being emotionally consistent. And secondly, taking pleasure and respecting non-romantic life, non-romantic activities.
Having a
They
life.
say, yes, no, because life is not romantic always. Yeah. So, Janvi, this is a very important thing you have just asked. That what are the green flags, what are the red flags, and I believe that the historical red flags and green flags are not very relevant in nowadays.
Hmm.
Those are not very relevant. Times have changed, scenarios have changed, expectations have changed. So what I believe is the most important green flags are being emotionally consistent,
Hmm.
being emotionally there, being available today and being unavailable tomorrow is not something acceptable, which we were, in older times accepting. If somebody is nice to us today, too nice to us today, and being, maybe arrogant or unavailable tomorrow, we used to give a benefit of doubt that it's all right, they must be busy, having workload, having study load, parents ne kuch kaha hoga. We used to think like that. But if that is happening very regularly, that should be unacceptable. So, green flag is if somebody is emotionally consistent, and secondly, I would say somebody who respects and enjoys a non romantic life. Because life, in a normal sense, is not very romantic. Not always it's romantic. If you're in a relationship, you're studying in college, you're in second year or third year, you have parents who are going to some put some boundaries on you. If you are living in a hostel, you have some boundaries, some expectations of the, some decorum to be maintained. And if your partner is expecting that you are available for them at 3 a.m. in the night, that might not be practical. That might sound
Hmm.
romantic, but unpractical, isn't it?
Correct.
So somebody who is available with you, I would, I generally coin a term rock foundation. Rock
Hmm.
foundation, a green flag for a relationship, firstly, is when somebody respects a non romantic life. If you're saying that I will not be available for you, I will not be able to hang out or go on a date or have a late night conversation because I have to submit a project or I have an exam. Somebody respecting that of course I can understand.
Hmm.
That is a green flag. Somebody who offers you consistent availability, being there for you. Maybe if there is some circumstance occasionally they are unavailable, they also have their life, that is acceptable. But otherwise, they are consistent, alone and in front of people also. That is quite important. At times people are extremely nice to you, when you are having telephonic conversations, late night conversations, hanging out alone. They are very nice to you, but they suddenly change when there is a group format, when there are people involved, other people involved, or you are seeking some kind of help or support, maybe emotional support. They change. So that is unacceptable. So, green flag is somebody who is consistently available, who is there for you. Another green flag is, in Rock Foundation, is, celebrating your success. There is
Hmm.
a, test also, Gottman's, relationship test. This is the most important factor to, assess the compatibility, the performance of a relationship. If your partner celebrates your success, if they are happy with your success, your achievements, that is a huge green flag that shows that how deeply attached they are to you, how they respect you as a person. This is a
Support.
huge green flag, and we generally do not consider it at all. We do not even think about it. But I'm telling you, in the long run in life, if you want a healthy and happy relationship, it is always important to have a partner who cheers you, who celebrates you, your achievements, no matter how small they are. And
Correct.
another thing, yeah, and another very important green flag is keeping your cool in difficult conversations and situations. Somebody who loses their cool quite easily is a huge red flag. Is a huge red flag, because that shows inconsistency. कहीं पे भी कभी
Hmm.
कुछ गलत हुआ and they would lose their cool. They might say something which is not respectful. At times, the people who are not able to keep cool, they might leave you somewhere. लड़ाई हो गई coffee shop में and they walk out.
Hmm.
So if you are looking for a green flag, look for a green flag where you see that the other person, you have someone who likes you, see them how they are in group format, see that how they are with people, see that, if his bike broke and he had to go somewhere quite quickly, does he lose his cool? घबरा
Being
जाते
level
हैं.
headed.
Level headed, being there, being, a constructive in their thinking. ये नहीं कि अब क्या होगा, मेरी बाइक खराब हो गई है, मेरे को तो जाना था, this and that, and become ugly in emotionally.
Hmm.
So that is a huge flag. Another thing, it is more of a red flag, I would say. So these were the green flags,
Hmm.
the rock foundation. Now I would like to elaborate on the red flags.
Hmm.
So that is the shady thing. I call these the shady, aspects of someone's personality. First thing, in a red flag, I would say, look for someone who does not shift the blame.
Hmm.
We look for red flags that somebody, who sees other girls or, cheating or something. But how does one get there? We have to firstly think about their personality attributes. If those are all right, such scenarios might not even occur. So,
Taking
firstly,
accountability for your action.
yes, not shifting the blame to the other person that I said so, I maybe abused you or hit you or maybe, disrespected you because you have done this.
Hmm.
You were talking to that boy. That is why I reacted like that.
Hmm.
I humiliated you publicly, or you were chatting with that girl. So that is why I, put such, humiliating status on my Insta or my WhatsApp. That is not the thing. If the other person has done something to hurt you or something which is unacceptable to you, taking revenge or doing something ugly to them does not mean that, you are doing something right. Justifying it by saying that you did that, so I did this. No, if they did something wrong, you have to clearly say that I don't like this. This is not happening for me. Not using any kind of, disrespect.
Hmm.
So shifting blame is not all right. Having explosive reactions, as I already told you, that keeping your cool is a green flag. Not keeping your cool more often is also a big red flag. छोटी छोटी बातों में, getting temperamental, getting hyper, and this is done by men also. This is done by women also. छोटी छोटी
Correct.
बातों में हाइपर हो जाना, so that creates stress in the relationship even though everything else is good, but हर छोटी छोटी बात पे हाइपर होना, गुस्सा होना, not balancing your emotions, that is not going to make your relationship sustainable. So if a person is like that, that is a red flag. You cannot, cancel it out by saying ये तो इनकी पर्सनालिटी है, कोई बात नहीं, बाकी तो सब कुछ अच्छा है. ये बहुत खराब है, इससे बहुत दिक्कत हो जाएंगी. दिस इज नॉट
Hmm.
समथिंग बहुत आसानी से आप डील कर पाओगे. अनदर थिंग, रेड फ्लैग इज आइसोलेटिंग यू. And the red
Okay.
flags I'm mentioning now, these are predominantly narcissistic personality traits. Somebody who is narcissistic, they do all of these things more often. So, this is something we do not ever think about. If somebody is isolating you, when you get in a relationship, what happens generally is, उससे मत बात करो, उससे मत बात करो.
Hmm.
Those your friends are not good. वो लड़का
Cutting
तुम्हारा
of
friend.
communication.
Yeah. So this happens not only in, young relationships, in marriages also. This happens quite commonly, that you start cutting the person from the society or the people around you, or maybe diminishing your circle. That friend of yours is not good, she's a bad influence or he's a bad influence. When they will, consistently influence you with these words, you will end up, detaching yourself from that friend, because what you feel is, whenever I'm talking to that friend of mine, my boyfriend is fighting with me, or he's upset. Whenever I'm talking to that friend, my girlfriend gets upset. So you would
Hmm.
end up to, end up detaching with them to please your partner. Another way of isolating is when they are not including you in their circle. having your circle, separated from your partner. It doesn't mean that you have to hang along with your partner, with your friends. It is not necessary all the time, because you need your time also. That is also quite important. But not including them at all, not introducing them to your personal circle, that is a huge red flag. I have seen so many cases of, Sumanji, I must mention that, of Instagram dating. The people were dating for, 5 years, 6 year, 8 year. I saw a relationship of 14 years even. And they were dating online. They might have met a few times, maybe they were in different cities, and they had not been introduced to anybody else
Yes.
in their partner's life. And when that person ghosted them, they didn't had anybody to connect with, to know, where is their partner, if they are going to call back, if they are going to come back in their life. They had nobody.
Right.
They had not been introduced to their partners in a circle. So that is a huge red flag. So if your partner, even after in a relationship, you are in maybe 2 weeks, a month, or 3 months, and they have not introduced you to their inner circle, that is a huge red flag. Another red flag is not defining the feelings and the parameters of the relationship. If somebody is like, बाद में decide करेंगे, not labeling the relationship, whenever you're talking about the future, after, maybe 3 months, you are about to complete your graduation. And of course, you're thinking about the next course of your life. You're going into job or maybe studying something else, and they do not want to discuss about the future. Or if they discuss, that they are not including you. So that we call gamophobia also, fear of commitment also. Maybe they are not committed towards you because either they are not talking about future plans or they are not including you. Okay, I would do this, I would do that, but they are not including you. That if I will do this, this is how we are going to make things happen. So that is a huge, red flag. Another red flag is, asking for constant reassurance or validation. You will tire out. You will get burdened with a person who is looking for constant reassurance. Always asking that, if that was all right, if this is okay, मैंने कुछ गलत तो नहीं करा. So that is another, red flag. So these are the things I would say that, make or break a relationship. So these are the things you must look for or not look for in a partner. Red flags and green flags.
Either red flag or green flag. What I see nowadays, foundation of every relationship is online. Either it's an Insta relationship or Snapchat or multiple apps are there. Where did you meet, guys meet? हम इस app में मिले. They are laying the foundation of the relationship through apps, through online gadgets. So I think the beauty comes with it along with consequences. It's very
Of course.
I have
True.
heard my friends saying, if we keep the relationship, away from others, if we don't disclose it, किसी की नजर नहीं लगेगी and it will be very beautiful. But then question comes, what if this relationship breaks? You're not sharing your happiness. Do you have any idea what pain it will bring? You can't share that too. So, Janvi, your next
So,
question, please.
yeah. So, in relationships, it is very common to have communication problems, ki you have a misunderstanding and the other person replied late, and then you start overthinking and feel pressure. And in that situation, what happens is that usually you end up fighting, which is very normal. People fight in relationships. But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with conflicts, so that both are on the same page and they don't get hurt emotionally? You need to understand fighting styles every person has, and how does that affect us mentally, because it is very important to maintain our mental peace in that scenario, keeping cool and calm. How do we do that?
First of all, Janvi, the thing is that we are generally, when in a relationship, we are emotionally codependent. I am
Hmm.
feeling happy if my partner's mood is good. I am feeling sad or upset if my partner, gave a smirk to me or didn't pick my call. So we are emotionally so codependent that, it is directly affecting our mental health always, because we are not able to create a balance between me and my partner. We are not able to do that. And but your question over here, is about communication. When communication is fuzzy, where it is unclear, or we are having a conflict, or we are having misunderstanding, what happens is there is a vacuum. Because generally we are upset, when we are upset with someone, either we are talking bad, or we are not talking at all. So in that vacuum, what happens is overthinking happens.
Hmm.
Overthinking happens and we create scenarios.
Correct.
You had at times there is no conflict or no argument. What happens is you called your partner, they didn't pick your call. You called two three
Hmm.
times more, they didn't pick your call, they didn't messaged you back. And they were not able to respond to you. You sent some messages also. Everything happened. And what happened was, in that time span, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, what happened was you started creating scenarios. Maybe he's with someone else, maybe he's doing this purposely, maybe I said something in the morning and now he's upset with me and he's ghosting me. Maybe I asked him something. I asked that who's that girl on your Instagram, or who's that boy you're talking to, and they want to dodge the questions. They do not want to answer or take accountability. That is why they're not answering. I am creating scenarios in my mind. And
Hmm.
what is happening on the other hand, that maybe my partner is with his parents, or in a class, or maybe doing some household chores. Maybe
Correct.
their friend is has asked for some help and they are helping them, and they cannot pick your call or they cannot respond.
But we'll always think the worst case scenario.
We will think the worst case scenario. और सोचो, in that vacuum we have created so much explosive thoughts. What is going to happen कि जब 3-4 घंटे बाद, or maybe next day they are going to respond, and they were in a chaotic situation. Maybe their a relative of theirs was unwell.
Hmm.
They were going to the hospital with their mother, and they are exhausted and they want to share whatever happened. They were so emotionally attached to them, or whatever happened, they want to, but you are like, अब क्यों फोन कर दिया? Why do you want to
Hmm.
talk to me? This is what happens. ये सबसे पहला
Hmm.
हमारा जवाब होता है, now you have time for me? Now?
And then we talk
It
about
has been
priorities.
8 hours. This happens, and after this reaction of yours, that person was about to share whatever happened yesterday, and now you have used such words. What is going to happen? Conflict, fights, and neither of the person were wrong. It was something that we created. Both of them were not wrong. It was just the vacuum and what we created, the assumptions that we made, the worst case scenarios. And we so what we have to learn firstly, in a conflict kind of a situation, we have to move from immediate reactions, active reactions से हमें clarity की तरफ जाना होता है. We have to avoid reacting actively,
Hmm.
either in front of the person, either in our thoughts also. If I am thinking also that other person is not picking my call, I must give some benefit of doubt that they must be busy, they might respond. I must not start assuming things there and then. You have to give some time. If they're not replying to you for 3-4 days, that is a cause of concern. That is why I'm saying that you must be introduced to the inner circle, a friend of theirs,
Hmm.
so that you can ask them that if there is some issue with them. So they might tell you that he has some issues at his place or her place, so that you can get some clarification. But first thing is moving towards clarity instead of active reaction. अभी कुछ पता चला, अभी सोच लिया मैंने कुछ कुछ. No, don't do that. Look for
This
clarity.
also this also comes with maturity. है ना?
Yes.
We see experiences, then we learn, and then we think clearly.
Yes. But देखो, maturity, Janvi, at times happen. I have seen people 60 years old who are not mature.
Correct.
It is not
Hmm.
something which is age specific, and I have seen such evolved 12-year-olds also
अच्छा.
who have a lot of. I have.
Me too.
So they have clarity. Maybe they might not be worldly, wise. They might have their, childlike expressions towards life. But yes, people might be mature and wise irrespective of their age. And people
Hmm.
might be not wise and immature, irrespective of their age. So this is, and then, when you're seeking clarity, Janvi, how do you, seek clarity at times? At times, it is not like that they are unavailable and you cannot ask question. At times, they're available and you're asking questions, but you're asking questions in the wrong manner.
Hmm.
That
Correct.
is creating the, communication issue. That is
Yeah.
creating the communication issue. Instead of when that person picked the call, maybe after an hour or maybe they called back, instead of saying कि अब time मिल गया या अब ये कर लिया, so you may say that I was worried.
हाँ.
I'm
Correct.
sorry, you were busy. And I called you so many times. Actually, I got worried, or I wanted to have a word with you, or I needed some help. So I'm so sorry I disturbed you so many times. If you start your conversation like this, instead of saying something rude, uncalled for, there are chances that there would be less friction and conflict. Just framing your sentences, thoughtfully. अगर आप इस तरीके से आप ये बोलोगे, अगर वो इंसान आई वाज कंसर्न्ड, अगर वो ऐसे बोलती, देन दैट बॉय वुड हैव एलैबोरेटेड दैट दिस हैपेंड इन माय फैमिली, अ रिलेटिव ऑफ माइन वाज अनवेल, दे वर हैविंग हाई फीवर और समथिंग, एंड शी वुड हैव गॉट
Correct.
all the answers.
Hmm.
She would have got all the answers, each and every detail. So at times, to get clarity and have better conflict, communication and avoiding conflict, you have to be very, very thoughtful and mindful in your conversations. Clarifying, clearly asking, reframing in fact, rephrasing what you have heard from that person. If somebody is saying something to you, your girlfriend is saying that it is not working and you are not very available for me, or something like that. If she's saying, always rephrase. This is what psychologists do. Whenever somebody is explaining something to you, telling something to you, always reframe whatever they are saying. Are you saying that I am not available in the relationship? Just repeat what they have said.
Hmm.
Are you saying that this relationship is not working for you? Is this what you mean? At times we read between the lines too much. दूसरे ने जो कहा भी नहीं है, हम वो समझ लेते हैं. Somebody is saying that you're unavailable. हाँ, तुम्हें ब्रेकअप करना है ना? देखो, तो रहना नहीं है मेरे संग.
सीधे.
है ना? सीधे हम कुछ और ही बोलेंगे. तो वो मत करो. Don't do that.
Yes.
Rephrasing what they are saying. So focus on what they are saying because they have brought up the issue.
हाँ.
Listen to that. एक और चीज बहुत आजकल चल गई है कि डोंट यूज आई स्टेटमेंट्स, यूज यू स्टेटमेंट्स. अपने ऊपर फोकस मत करो. आया है, मैं करो. मैं मत करो, आई मीन, ये बोलते हैं ना हर जगह. दिस इज गेनिंग अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रैक्शन. बट गिवन
हाँ.
अ सिनेरियो व्हेन देयर इज अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और समथिंग इज नॉट वर्किंग एंड यू आर सेइंग you are the problem, you are doing this, you are not picking my calls, you are not available for me, you were rude to me that day, your friend is so mean, your friends are so. In such scenarios, you statements are working, do you think?
No.
They're not working. In such scenarios, when you're having a conflict, what I would do is I would use I statements. That I felt bad that day. I feel that maybe your friend gets, a little disrespectful at times. I feel that you're unavailable. Focusing on my issues, telling them very clearly that this is my point of view. Maybe this is not
Hmm.
something you are trying to do. This is something I feel that is happening, so that they know that you are not blaming them. This is something you have felt.
Hmm.
Clear demarcation of the point of view. So this is also using I statements whenever you're addressing a conflicting situation, not using you. Right? Another thing, whenever conflict is going to happen, you know that this is an issue. You got a picture of them, somebody that they were hanging out with someone that you particularly told to not to hang out with your friend. Something chaotic has happened. Please do not start the fight at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. in the night over WhatsApp or Instagram chats. Please don't do that. Schedule it. Maybe it is something that you won't be able to keep to yourself till next day. I do understand that वो एकदम से होता है ना कि अभी बोलना है. You may say,
Hmm.
you may tell them that I have encountered something, or you may tell them whatever has happened also. I saw your picture and I didn't like it, but let's talk about it in the morning. Schedule it, because at 2 a.m. in the night you are exhausted, other person is exhausted. It is going to get worse क्योंकि आप पहले ही थके हुए हो, आपको नींद आ रही है. You have to wake up early morning, आपको स्कूल जाना है, कॉलेज जाना है, ऑफिस जाना है. You have to be somewhere.
Yeah, correct.
It is going to be negative.
Unnecessary drama.
Yes, unnecessary. And also, having conversations, serious conversations over chat should be completely avoided. Never to do that, because loss of context, loss of tone also. You don't know what other person is, trying to say, because the tone is not there.
Correct.
So don't do that. Maybe you're writing something casually and it might come across as being aggressive or rude. So these conversations, if you are living, it is a long distance thing, have it over call, but not over chats. And the biggest thing that you can do, to have better communication, to pause. Whatever you have felt bad, if and in not just in communication, whenever you have to react, whenever you have to do something, something has upset you, always pause before reacting. Even if we are, having a conversation right now, and I might feel that Janvi has said something which I didn't like. It might happen. Instead of reacting there and then, अरे जानवी मुझे ऐसे अच्छा नहीं लगा, how could you talk to me like that, I am so older than you. uh, Instead of that, I must take pause. When we take pause, we figure out that maybe this was unintentional. Most of the conflicts get sorted in that 10-second or 30-second or 1 minute pause. So do
Correct.
take a pause. So these are a few things, Janvi, as you were asking about conflict management, how to manage conflicts. I think these are the best ways to manage a conflict when you have, a strong control over your communication and thoughts.
All of your points are very good. And now, from this entire conversation, I have gauged that the moment we stop to impress and start being honest in our relationships, it becomes very peaceful. So to wrap everything up, if you would give Gen Z one golden rule for drama free dating and healthy dating, what would that be and why?
So, Janvi, yes, a golden rule. I have actually two golden rules for, a healthy relationship, and also keeping yourself mentally stable and healthy in a relationship to create a balance out. Firstly, what I believe is we see conflict as a demon. We demonize
Hmm.
conflicts, that if we are having conflicts, then that our relationship is not going in the right direction. It is not a successful or balanced or appropriate relationship. It's not healthy enough. But what I feel is conflict is not opposite of love. Conflict is an opportunity for intimacy. conflict is an opportunity to grow your relationship, because in a scenario of conflict only our true personalities come out, our actual thoughts come out, how we feel, how we perceive, how we are as a person. All of these things are more externalized when we are in a situation of conflict, not in a situation of peace. Only then we externalize our thoughts. So
Correct.
conflict is a great opportunity. Consider it an opportunity, not a demon. Because when we are at peace, that is the scenario similar to the honeymoon phase, which we were discussing. Everything sweet and nice, which is not the reality of life. So for golden rule, whenever there is a conflict, practice the principle 525. Whenever you are in a situation of conflict, you have a misunderstanding, you are into an argument, you are disliking the thought process or the words or the behavior of the other person, use this rule of 525, where 5 stands for 5 minutes of pause, of distraction, of not communicating. Wait, inform your partner, the person you are in conflict with, I need a break. I need a break. Explain them whatever which was happening, because you not leave other person hanging in the middle of a conversation. Just tell them that I need a break. I'm too angry right now. I am consumed in anger, and I'm not liking this situation. So I do not want to continue with this conversation right now. And immediately after that, if it is possible, because all of these things, depend upon the possibility of things also. You might not have, if you are in a long distance relationship, or maybe if something has happened in the morning and you have a long day of college or studies or work, and you might not be having more time. So either if instead of 525 you can do it like 5 or 10 also. So take a pause for 5 minutes and then do something else. If you have time, do something else for 25 minutes. If you do not have that much liberty of time, you can do something else for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or maybe 2 minutes. Do something which is not related to your partner, not with your partner, not related to the topic of conflict. Like listen to some music, not sad music, not victimizing music. कि मैं बेचारी या मैं बेचारा. No. Listen to some music, listen to a podcast. If you are an artist, if you are at home or you have the liberty of doing some art, do something else. Don't scroll the social media and look at perfect lives of other people. Because that is going to create more chaos. But do something which is completely unrelated to your partner or unrelated to the topic of conversation. Take this pause, and I tell you that only a better outcome is going to come out if you practice this rule. And after this thing, use the model communication model I told you previously, Chris. Clarify things, rephrase, reframe your sentences, use I statements, schedule for another better time when you both are, not sleepy or tired, and take pause. Use that model after that. But firstly, take a break. Tell your
Take
partner
pause.
that I am not all right now. No, right now I am angry and I don't want to have this conversation. And just distract your mind. Do something completely, unrelated. And another golden rule, and this is the rule which I, suggest everyone: love thy partner. अपने partner को प्यार करो. Respect them, everything. But love yourself more. Love yourself first. That is the most important thing. If you do not respect yourself, if you do not love yourself, it is going to transcend in all of your relationships. If I do not respect myself, love myself, or prioritize myself, how can I expect anybody else, be it my partner, my family, my friends, to prioritize me, to love me, or respect me? That is not going to happen. So these are my golden rules, and I believe whatever we have discussed, some of it has been, worthwhile and helpful for you all.
Very beneficial.
Thank you, Kushaji. From all the conversation we had today, I'm sure Gen Zs को अपने सवालों के जवाब मिला. But me being a millennial, I realized something. We don't nowadays in this age we are not dodging from relationship. We are dodging in a relationship. We are running from each other, though we are together. So I'm sure आपकी सारी बातें हमें भी बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है. And maybe we'll be able to figure out our own relationship in a better way. So thank you for answering all the questions. Now coming to the fun round, that is turning the table. So here what we do, कुशा जी, जानवी ने आपसे बहुत सारे सवाल किए. आई एम गिविंग यू एन अपॉर्चुनिटी. उन सारे सवालों के बदले आप उससे एक सवाल कर सकते हो. एंड जानवी, नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर यू टू रिप्लाई इन अ जेंजी वे. ठीक है? हियर वी गो. यस कुशा जी.
Sure.
So, Janvi, as we have discussed about, open card syndrome, always looking out for something better, always, in a situation of ambiguity, being, in the gray area, situationships, green flags, red flags, everything. Tell me one of your own internal belief, or, maybe not maybe your personal, maybe a cumulative kind of a thing, internal belief you have seen in your friends also around you, which makes you believe that I can be, vulnerable in a relationship. How can I be vulnerable in a relationship? Believing that if I'm vulnerable, I am open about my thoughts, my feelings in a relationship is not going to intimidate my partner or not offend them. This can be an internal belief that I have trust in my partner that they would not hate it when I tell them what I'm thinking. What is it? What is it internally you feel which will help you being more vulnerable?
I think the most important thing in a relationship is always trust, right? If I if we are getting in a relationship, first of all, we match our values. Ki what type of relationship we are looking? Is it just for fun, or is it like a long term thing we are looking forward to? We are going to pursue this in the future. Maybe like we get very serious, we look for marriage, whatever. Pehle aligning our values and what we want in a relationship, that solves most of the problem. And then how can we be vulnerable in front of them? That comes with time, I think. You just first we have to give our trust for granted, है ना? It's like uh, we are in this relationship, we हमने डिसाइड किया कि दिस इज लाइक सीरियस लॉन्ग टर्म, एंड देन आई ट्रस्ट यू, यू ट्रस्ट मी, वी शेयर थिंग्स. उसके बाद वी सी कि हाउ बोथ ऑफ अस आर रिस्पॉन्डिंग. ठीक है, मैं जो उसको बात बता रही हूँ वो कहीं और तो नहीं जा रही. How he is responding to me, does he truly understand me, बस बोलने के लिए बोल रहा है. लाइक आई टर्म्ड, जब हनीमून फेज ओवर हो जाता है तो धीरे धीरे ऑटोमेटिकली पता चल जाता है कि हमारे वैल्यूज एक्चुअली में अलाइन करते हैं, कि वो बस रोमांटिक थिंग्स थे शुरुआत में. विथ टाइम वो क्लियर हो जाता है. कम्युनिकेशन इज अगेन द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट की. जैसा भी मैं फील कर रही हूँ, हाउ एवर ही इज फीलिंग, वी नीड टू टेल दैट. अगर हम बताएंगे ही नहीं तो पता ही नहीं चलेगा. The thing with our generation is that we don't talk. We forget to talk. हम ठीक है बाद में देख लेंगे, ये putting it under the carpet, whatever. We don't address the situation and then it piles up again and again and again. फिर उसके बाद फिर वो dramatic response आता है कि तुम ऐसे हो, तुम ऐसे, whatever. I have seen that with my friends, like they won't talk about things for like weeks, and then one day he will taunt, she will taunt, then it escalates, it becomes very big, messy.
Overthinking in the
अगर हम
vacuum.
शुरुआत से, एग्जैक्टली exactly, अगर हम शुरुआत से ही उसको बात करें शुरुआत से हम एड्रेस करें कि आई फेल्ट दैट वे, व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट द सिचुएशन, वैसे ट्रस्ट भी बढ़ेगा। एंड हम समझ भी पाएंगे कि उसका तरीका क्या है समझने का, व्हाट इज माई वे ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, व्हाट इज द वे वी कम्युनिकेट विथ ईच अदर। पीपल कम्युनिकेट इन डिफरेंट वेज, राइट? वी हैव डिफरेंट पर्सनैलिटीज, some are emotional, some are practical. You have to just communicate and things will get clear. ट्रस्ट वैसे ही फॉर्म होता है।
Great, great. So I believe that the answer for Janvi is, you can be vulnerable if you have trust.
करेक्ट।
And this is quite, I would say wise of you, because this is trust is the core of it. Thank you so much, Janvi.
Well,
थैंक
this was really brilliant. Getting answer from a girl जिसने रिलेशनशिप फॉर्म नहीं किया है मगर दूसरों के रिलेशनशिप को काफी एक्सप्लोर करके सीख लिया है. Whenever you have your own, I'm sure it's going to be great. It was really amazing. So now we come to the end of the podcast. It was a wonderful
यू।
conversation with both of you. Thank you so much for sharing your question and answers. I'm sure not only Gen Zs, millennials और जितने जनरेशन है जो जो ये देखेंगे सबको बहुत सारी क्लैरिटी मिली अपने क्वेश्चन से. So thank you so much once again and have a great evening and see you soon in the next podcast. Thank you everyone.